Hey everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my channel by hitting that big red subscribe button down below. It's completely free to subscribe and that way you don't miss out on any of the fun crafty things that we have going. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this fun 3D letter. This is from crafty.net. I will link crafty.net down below. It is the subscription service from Mr. Crafty Pants, and I was so excited that he has 3D letters. These are really fun. You can make them so personal. You can spell out words, do initials, whatever you really want to do. And these are super fun for like birthday party decorations or decorations in a room, things like that. These make awesome teacher gifts as well because they can use them to decorate their classrooms and they weigh nothing, so they're very, very easy. You can always add little weights to the bottom if you want them to stand a little bit easier, but we're just going to show you how to assemble and then I'm just going to put some quick little decorations on this. But just know, you guys can go crazy with these, decorate them however you want. Really fun, really easy. So let's get started.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
We are going to be using a file from crafty.net, and I love all the files they have, but these 3D letters are super easy to put together. And what I love is that with their files, I have yet to have any issues. I've downloaded tons. I really love it. The subscription price is $9.99 a month, or you can save 10% by subscribing for the full year. You get all sorts of downloads. They have free stuff too that you can check out, but we're going to make a 3D letter C. So in order to download the file that you want, simply click download, and it's going to open up and ask where you want to save it. So for me, I'm going to save it into my Cricut folder, and I'm going to save it under my papercraft folder. That way it's easy to find. I'm going to go ahead and click save. Now these files are zipped to make them easier to download, so you'll need to extract the file before you use it. What you want to do is down here, open up the 3D alphabet letter zip file, and then all you simply need to do is click extract all. Then just click extract. Now my computer opens up my file that has my extracted files in it, and simple as that, it's all ready to go. We're going to head over to Cricut Design Space. Over in Cricut Design Space, we need to upload the SVG for the 3D letter. So what I'm going to do is click upload. I'm going to click upload image, and instead of clicking browse, I'm actually going to just open that extracted folder again and just click on this and hold and then drag it over into my Cricut Design Space. Just makes life a lot easier. Then all I'm going to do is simply click upload. All I need to do now is select the image and add it to my canvas. Now you're going to see that it brings up all of our pieces and parts that we need to use. I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger so we can see everything and I can kind of talk about the different parts and pieces. Now everything is grouped as it should be, and you'll see here that we've got this kind of section. These are like the outsides of the letters, and then this is obviously the front and the back of the letter. And then you'll see that you have a couple of shapes. You have a star, a square, a circle, and a triangle. That is how you know where to line up the different tabs. So triangle to triangle, star to star, square to square, circle to circle. It just makes it a lot easier. Now I'm going to go ahead and click make it, and let's see what it looks like after we hit make it. So you'll see here that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, and then we have this kind of random section right here. So this random section is going to actually need to be attached to the design. So this is something that we'll need to kind of play with, but that's totally normal because most vector programs don't allow for Cricut Design Space and in their score lines. So right here where you see it says basic cut, this is going to be your score line. So you can see that these are our black lines. What you'll do is over here in operation, click the little down arrow and find where you see score right here under draw. Choose score and you'll see all those lines change over to dashed lines. It's going to kind of do that to your little circles and stuff too, but for the most part, it shouldn't be too hard for you to figure out where these all go because I always just kind of keep this up on my screen and it helps me see which way everything goes together. But the next important thing that we need to do is select the entire design and attach it. If you don't attach it, you're going to have the score lines on a separate sheet of paper, and we definitely don't want that. Now, I do need to size this down. I made it big so that you guys could see it better, but I do want to size it down a little bit, and the way that they have it set up makes it so you can't make it super big. You could definitely change it around and make it bigger. if you wanted to, but I'm just going to go ahead and make this on a 12 by 12 sheet. It'll be fine. It should fit no problem at this size. So I'm going to go ahead and click Make It. And now you'll see that we only have one page and it's got all of our score lines already set and good to go. Now all we have to do is click Continue and select our cutting material size. Now, again, if you want to cut these on different like colors of paper and things like that, you'll kind of need to play with it, ungroup, and do some things, slicing and contouring. But for this, I'm just going to show you how to assemble. So we're going to just choose a medium cardstock setting. The first thing that we'll need to load is our scoring wheel. I'll show you guys how to load that. And the next thing we'll need to load is our fine point blade. So let's go ahead over to the machine so we can cut these out. The first thing that we need to do is to load our scoring wheel. If you don't have a scoring wheel, you can do this with a scoring stylus as well, but I love my wheel. And I have a double scoring wheel, which I have to say I really prefer over the single. I'll link them down below in the video, but this is it. It has the quick swap housing. So all you do is open clamp B, pull out your fine point blade, and then line up the gold gears to the gold gears that are on the cradle here, and then just close your clamp B again. Now I have a little Cricut tool holder. Love this thing, highly recommend. I will link this below as well. But what I love about it is it holds all my tools, and then it holds all like the blades and the extra pieces and stuff down in the bottom, and it just snaps together, and then it just opens. So it keeps my tool holder from falling on the ground or anything like that. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and load this. I'm actually gonna move my star wheels a little bit. I had them moved for another project, and I wanna make sure that this is gonna hold this down. So I'm using this beautiful coral color just so it's easy for you guys to see while we assemble, but I will get this all pulled in a little bit more so you can see it, and I'm gonna let this do all the scoring, and then we'll get to cutting. Once it's done scoring, the little Cricut button is going to flash, and that lets you know it's time to change out your tool. So you're simply going to open the clamp, take out the scoring wheel, and replace it back with your fine point blade. Simple as that. And then what you'll need to do, get that lined up, is hit the Cricut button, and it will cut everything out. Okay, so now that it's done cutting, I'm going to go ahead and unload my mat. I'm going to close my machine. I always make sure to turn it off too because I'm done using it and I don't want to accidentally leave it on. But what I want to show you is how to take your paper off of your mat without kind of ruining your paper. So what you're going to do is take your mat and flip it over so that you're looking at the back side of your mat, and please ignore the fact that this is dirty. And what you're going to do is kind of see how I'm rolling my mat away from the project. I'm going to go ahead and roll this away. Now some parts might stick to your mat, like these little C's are kind of staying stuck. You can just gently kind of pull those off, and then you're going to just kind of use your hand to work your way down your project so that you're not kind of pulling it off of the mat, more so you're taking the mat off of your project. Now you don't want to bend the mat super far because you can crack it and break it, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this piece off, and then you can see like I'm kind of pulling them down without bending them, and you can see they stayed nice and flat. So I have one more little part to go, and you'll just do that for each of the pieces of your project. So I'm just going to kind of pop that piece off, and we're good to go. And then just make sure to put your plastic back on your mat. So apparently it didn't record the first couple that I did. So let me do this long one really quick and show you guys what we're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold on all of our score lines. So I like to start with the long line first, so the longer piece. In these long ones, I like to use a bone folder to make sure that I get a really crisp line on. And you can get a bone folder just about anywhere at any craft store. So all I'm doing is I like to fold the outside edges first. So these do have quite a few folds on them to help them go around your letter. So all I do is I just fold them like that. And then once you do one direction with the fold, so I'm folding them down, you're going to fold all of your other tabs the same direction. You don't want to fold them like up like this direction. You want to fold them all in the same direction. Otherwise, it's not going to go together correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything folded. And you want to make sure, like I said, fold on every line. So there are lines like in the middle of your piece. So you want to make sure that you fold on those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything folded and then we can start assembling. Okay, it's assembly time. So the way I like to do it is I take and match up all of the shapes. So like for example, I have the square on this one and the square here. And then over here we have the star and the star. And then the triangle and the triangle. Or no, I lied to you. I did that one backwards. Triangle, triangle, and then the circle and the circle will match at the ends. So I like to match all of that up first. And then I kind of go with the assembly. So what I do is I assemble the outside first. So what I'm going to do is take and put, and you want a quick drying glue when you do this. So I'm using some hot melt glue and I'm just going to put a small dab on that little tab. And then I want to just line up the tab with the edge here so that everything is pretty well lined up. And you're going to do that the whole way around. So your next tab will be your triangle and it'll match with your triangle. And again, I just use a little bit of glue and then I just line them up so that they are straight and even. Press them together. And then this one will attach down on this end. So this will be the square meets the square. And even though these are done with the score lines, because that's how it was set up, you can still see the shape. I do wish they were cut out, but you can still see the shape. It's just a little hard on some of the parts. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that one. Whoops, that one did not go lined up as well as I wanted it to. Let's see if we can slide it a little bit. And then we'll just get these two, and you'll see that you have like kind of a giant ring of paper. So we'll go ahead and get the circle. And again, I'm not using a ton of glue. I don't want to use a lot. I don't want it to like seep out the sides. So I'm just using a small amount and then I'm just lining them up so that we have a nice line. And now you see we have kind of a big O, if you will. So once you've kind of got this big O, you'll see where you have long sides and you'll see that you have like shorter sides. And you'll kind of be able to see that, see the C starting to form. So like these here, the short one and the long one are the lines for right here. So this one is this line, and then this one is this inside line here. So that's sort of how I do it. I find like the longest stretch of line and I start with that one. So what I'm gonna do is just like how I did this part with the tab, is I'm going to put some hot melt glue on to the tab. Now everyone makes fun of me for calling it hot melt glue, but like I grew up with hot melt glue. I don't know what else you really call it. Is it just hot glue? I don't know. But I've always called it hot melt glue, so go ahead and make fun of me. It's fine. It's a little rude, but go ahead. So what you want to do is get it lined up as best you can, and I totally fudged it. But it doesn't dry right away, so you can kind of push it a little bit. That's not bad. Okay, so once I've got that one lined up, I don't want to put this one on. Like, as much as I know that this one goes here, this is going to be really hard to kind of get around to the edges. So I just work my way around. And from here, you can kind of put the glue on the C if that's easier for you. And I actually need to add some glue to my glue gun. So let me add another little glue stick. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue just on the edge of the C. And remember, nobody's going to see the inside of your letter, so I wouldn't worry too much. Like, if you glob it on there and it gets on the inside, I wouldn't worry. Nobody's going to see it, so I wouldn't be too concerned. So again, I'm just going to kind of go around and I'm going to get it inside of this one. Like I said, once I hit a certain point, I do find it a little bit easier to just put it on the actual letter versus on the tab. So it's just kind of a matter of like what works best for you as you decide you want to do this. And one cool thing about this paper that I thought was fun is it changes color when it gets hot. It goes back to the coral color once it cools down, but when it's warm, it changes color, and I thought that was fun. There's a couple papers I have that do that. I don't know why, but they do, and it's really fun. So, all right, we're going to get this one done. I'm going to go ahead and finish putting the glue all around the tabs on this, and then what I'll do is I'll show you guys how we're going to put the next part on the back. So there is part of it. So you can see, you really get an idea of what it's gonna look like once it's all finished. But you can leave it like this if you really want to. I mean, it's up to you. But there's definitely a reason that we have the back. So we're gonna go ahead and put the back on. Now this part is not quite as simple. So because of the way the tabs are, they're gonna need to be kind of pushed against the C. So what I like to do is I kind of pull the tabs out a little bit, just a little. I don't do a huge like bending, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put glue along these couple of tabs down here at the bottom. Again, I don't put a lot, I just put a little. And then what I want to do is line up the bottom of my C onto those tabs and get that kind of pressed down. And that's pretty good. All right, that looks good. Perfect. So I'm going to let that dry for just a few seconds. That way when I peel the C kind of up like this, it doesn't peel off, because we want to make sure that it does stay on those tabs. Because next tab I want to do are these ones right here. So this edge right here on the bottom part of our C. So what I'm going to do is kind of peel this back. Like I said, I let this dry a little bit so that it didn't kind of mess up with the ones on the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this corner. And I'm just going to kind of squeeze the tabs a little bit, press down the C, and you'll see, you can kind of see where it's kind of hitting the glue because it's changing color. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to wait to do the back and the middle here because I think those might be a little bit easier to wait on. Well, maybe not. I changed my mind. I'm going to go ahead and do the back one. Sometimes you just sort of got to look at it and figure out which way is going to work best for the way you kind of want to put it together. So I'm going to do the back, and I'm just going to gently set this down. And you want to make sure that it's touching, at least it's kind of sealed, you know. And then, all right, that looks good. That looks pretty good. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the middle. It's kind of making me nervous to do the middle, but I'm going to do the middle. So I have this one tab that I did not get glued down. So what I'm going to do is kind of shove my glue stick in here, or my hot melt glue gun, and just put a little bit of glue there and press it all together. Okay, that looks good. So then I'm going to go ahead and get this one, and this one's going to need to be pulled out a little bit because it's kind of tucked in funny. So we're going to put some glue right here, and you don't need a ton. That's kind of, like I said, that's the nice thing about these. You don't need a lot of glue. I'm going to use my finger to help with this, and I want to pull this middle portion out just a little. It was tucked in a little too much, and I got a little edge, but that's okay. I don't think it'll be too bad once it's all together. These do take some practice. You're not going to be a master at these the first time you put them together, so be kind to yourself and know that, like, it's okay if they're not perfect, because it is hard. These do take a little bit of like figuring out how you have to place them together. I've done a few. I am still not an expert, but I love doing these little 3D letters. They're fun. You can make lots of signs with them. These are great party decorations as well. People love looking at these. I just think they're cool. And he's got the whole alphabet. So you'll be able to find these on crafty.net. So there is our C. Oh, she's cute. All right, so again, not 100% perfect, but it does take some practice. And one nice thing about like doing these types of things is you can grab some stickers and other things to embellish them. So I have these little ones that I got. I'm not sure where I got these. I really don't remember. And you can use like patterned paper and things too if you want to kind of dress them up a little bit more. It's really up to you. But I'm just going to add some of these cute little stickers to this. And some little gems, because I do have, like, I got these again on clearance. These are little sticky gems. These ones I know were from Joann's, these little sticky ones, because these are Park Lane, and that's their little brand. But, like, you can just jazz it up a little. Add some little bubbles or some stickers, whatever you want to do to just sort of add a little bit of pizzazz to your little letter. So again, like I said, not perfect. This was one just to show you how to assemble and kind of give you an idea of how you can make these really fun 3D letters. Ooh, we lost the sticky gem. That's okay. This happens. These gems are not super sticky, which is why I think that guy doesn't even have adhesives. That's why. So there you go. So that is a simple 3D letter. It weighs literally nothing. They're really, really cute, really easy to assemble. You can make them in all sorts of styles, designs, whatever you want to do. Lots of fun ways that you can make these letters your own. So feel free, bust it out, play with it. I would love to see if you guys make 3D letters, so be sure to tag me on all the social media if you make any of these. I would love to see it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and as always, happy crafting!